Hello and welcome back to Simon's Rants and Happy Thanksgiving. I'm Simon and I'm going to be talking about planes, trains, and automobiles today. This is essentially the only genuine Thanksgiving classic. There's been a couple other Thanksgiving movies, and there've been a lot of Thanksgiving specials on TV shows, but this is the only movie that I feel deserves the title Thanksgiving Classic, which is a shame. There should be more, but mainly you just get a scene or two in a Christmas movie here or there. But anyway, this movie is written and directed by John Hughes and starring Steve Martin and John Candy. Steve Martin plays a businessman who is trying to get home in time for Thanksgiving, and John Candy plays a curtain ring salesman, and he has a lot of undesirable characteristics. He talks too much, he's very loud, he's very big, he's clumsy, he's very lovable in the right context, but in the wrong context, he just rubs you the wrong way. And Steve Martin's character is very irritable and sees all the negatives without seeing the positives. And so it's funny in the way that they go back and forth, but then it's very heartwarming in the way that Steve Martin eventually sees the good characteristics and he sees the good in him. And he realizes, I want to be more like you, actually. I don't want to make you more like me, more serious, more uptight. I want to be more loose and happy and loving like you are, despite you having so many negative things. We find out later on in the movie that John Candy's wife is actually dead, yet he talks about her like she's still alive. He talks about life like it's still good, even though it's really hard. And he's trying to get home for Thanksgiving, even though there's nobody to get home to. Steve Martin realizes not only does he want to be more like that, but he's realizing the importance of Thanksgiving. And I've talked about this before on Thanksgiving on this channel. Thanksgiving is definitely my favorite holiday. And I know there's some controversy around it because of politics, but I ignore that because I think that Thanksgiving is just as it should be celebrated just like Christmas should be celebrated, even if you're not religious. Even if you are religious, the history of Christmas isn't even Christian at its roots. So it's like, make the holiday what you want it to be about and celebrate that. And Thanksgiving is about being thankful for things. Christmas is great, and I love that too. Christmas is about the joy of giving to others. Thanksgiving, however, is being thankful about what you have. And that is something that nobody really talks about, I guess. It's great to give, and it's great to have a giving heart, but you should also just be thankful for the things that you have been given or the things that you have. And this movie is great for that because Steve Martin's character is completely oblivious to all the joy he has in his life. He's got a wife, he's got kids, he's got a great home, he's got a great job, and for the most part, his life runs very smoothly. But just because of this one event, he thinks his life is horrible, he thinks the world is out to get him, he thinks that everything sucks. And then he takes the time and sees John Candy's life. And he sees how John Candy reacts to that life, how positive he remains, how much he enjoys the simple things in life, like singing a song, smoking a cigarette, and driving. And it's like, that's great. This movie is great. And I want to get into the actual review of this movie too, but I have to give that context to it because of that's why I love this movie so much. It's not like it's the most brilliant movie. It's not like it's the best directed movie. It's not like it's the funniest movie of all time. It's none of those. But it is the perfect Thanksgiving movie. And I'm glad that we have it because there's, like I said, not a lot. Like there's this and then maybe two others or something, and they're not good. So, like I said, this movie is written and directed by John Hughes, which, if you don't know, he's done a few other movies like 16 Candles and Ferris Bueller's Day Off. He does these very quick, very go with the flow type comedies. And that's because of his writing style is he doesn't always fully finish his story before he starts writing it, and he doesn't do a second draft. So he starts and just writes until he's done, and then he's done. And there's a lot of good about that. There's a lot of bad about that. The main problem with that is the obvious of you can't go back and add something if you think about it. You can't go back and fix something if you realize it's wrong. But the good about it is you don't think about it. You just go with the story. You go with the natural flow. And you can argue, well, that's not really how entertainment should be portrayed, but it is, in my opinion, very realistic and very genuine and fun to watch because it's just like, well, there's an event and then how do we get from that event onto the next event. And that's just how his stories are laid out. Is there a string of events and you're just along for the ride, just trying to figure out how we get from A to B. And I really enjoy that in this movie especially. Doesn't always work the best in movies that he's done other than this. Like Ferris Bueller's Day Off, for the most part it's good, but it does have a couple of lulls where you're just like, you can tell he's trying to figure out how to get moving on to the next part. This one never really struggles with that, and I feel like every lull, every high point is just perfectly placed in this movie. And then the comedy is also great. You've got Steve Martin and John Candy, who are two great comedians. The writing's great, the situational comedy's great, the wordplay when it's here or there is great, and I just enjoy the heck out of this movie. And it's just a lot of fun. It's heartwarming. It's a genuine joy to watch, and I've made a tradition of trying to watch this every Thanksgiving, or at least around Thanksgiving, and it's good. It's worth it. If you guys haven't done it, you should do it. It's a lot of fun. And I know, like I said, it's a very important message. A lot of people don't understand this because, like I said, with Christmas, it's all about like bringing other people joy. And that's a really commendable thing to do. And I think we should all practice that. But so few people understand how to bring themselves joy. And when they try to bring themselves joy by giving themselves something. Because they're like, that's how I make other people happy. I give them something. I do something for them. And it's like, okay. And so you can give yourself something new. You can give yourself a spa day. You can, whatever, treat yourself to something. Cool. That's healthy. That's enjoyable. That's all that. But you have to enjoy yourself. You have to enjoy your own company. You have to enjoy what you already have. And that's what this is about, is enjoying your family, enjoying your job, enjoying your life, being thankful for all of that. Like Steve Martin was miserable at the beginning of this movie despite having all of these good things. And then you had to go through and realize, I might be late getting home to my family, in my warm home with a nice meal. But I have a nice meal in a warm home with a great family, with a loving wife that I am late getting to. I have all of that. So if it takes me a week, if I don't get home till Christmas even, I'll still be coming home to that. Life isn't so bad then. And so few people grasp that on a daily basis. I don't. I take everything in my life for granted at least once in a while. And that's why this movie's so good, and that's why I enjoy this movie and need to watch it at least once a year, keep reminding myself, be thankful for those things, and that's why I love this holiday. So, yeah, I love this movie. Not perfect, but it's not. How many Christmas movies are perfect? This is a holiday movie that's about something important that we need to hear, and at the same time, it's quite enjoyable to watch, and that's all you can really ask for. So I like this movie a lot, but what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below, and of course, don't forget to like, share, and if you're new here, subscribe. Happy Thanksgiving, guys. I'm grateful for all of you, thankful for all of you. I would be doing this regardless, but it's nice to know that people are here listening, because it makes me less crazy to film myself and talk to a camera when there's actually people on the other end listening. So thanks, guys. Bye.